Now, remember we said that the dollar has turned weak, and we were getting the buying in the yen. Uh, First thing we do, take a look at the weekly chart, and you can see here that the dollar has went tested the structural point, which is the 94.47, which was one of the points that we have identified last week. I think it's 94.7. And that was the high of last week, and last week I have mentioned to you that we should be careful about this kind of closing because it was a. And this week what we happened is that we did take out the high. We put a high about that, about 5 or 6 points, and then we turned around, and that would have been our initial indication that the market is not continuing to the upside. And if you look at our shorting point, and in this case our shorting point was the 93.76, and if you look at your radar screen, we had on the weekly chart we had a 93.76, and on the daily chart we had another earlier shorting point, which is the 94.09. This is quite a negative setup. We should be looking for this thing to continue down, at least to test the 91.73. So we should, if this gives us an easy setup, an easy way to trade the dollar yen. And the way we're going to trade this is, as long as we're below the 93.76, we are going to be short. And if it gets above the 93.76, we are going to be buyers of the dollar. So we'll go to the, in this case, my long point here in the dollar. My buying point is 93.76, and that is once you identify a clean point like this that gives you a good entry, that is makes our trading easy in this respect. And if we look at the daily chart, the low of Friday was 93.10. So we said that the buying point is going to be 93.76, and this is when it looks really nice, when you like that the high of the structure, if you will, is the same number that we have identified from the weekly chart. This makes it actually really a point that one should identify with. So guys, 93.76 is going to be our buying point. Our selling point in this case should be below, this is the 92.80. Think it would be safer, guys, if we take a trade on the short side, because as I said, from the weekly chart, this is inside and inside week. I'll show you again, so before I move quickly, this is still a major breakout to the upside. All what we have is just 1 week to the downside, so it's not particularly a trend change, and both of them are quite big weeks, so we have to be really careful about committing to one side or the other. So we have an inexpensive buy. We're about 50 pips above. We closed the week 93.17. Our buying point is 93.76, so just 50 pips away, and we're going to take the short at below 92.83, so it's just 40 pips below. Our shorting point is 40 pips away, so in this case we have 2 safe trades. So it's 92.82, so our short point is 92.82. So at least we don't get whipsawed into the trade during the, and if we these lines move. Okay, so our shorting point is going to be below 92.82, and our buying point is above 93.76. And if it does break below the 92, you should be looking at least for a test of the 91.73. That will be our testing point if it breaks. So you should be getting at about 100 pips to the downside. That should be a big quick sell-off that comes in. But everything, actually in this case, we're still positive on the dollar yen, believe it or not. So coming into the Tokyo session, we should be looking, as I said, to buy above the 96. So we just gonna be patient, if you will, on the dollar yen. The guys that are with us in the room, the guys that trade with us the Tokyo session, if you do have a break to the upside in the Tokyo session, you can take it, but you're doing it as a scalp. You're doing it for a quick buy, and you do not stay. You're welcome. You're looking for a quick buy, but you do not want to take a short out of the range in Tokyo unless it trades below the 92, because right now you have your move to the upside, and it came back and it sat at the 93.18. So we do not want to be pressuring the short side unless it takes out the 92.80. Okay, our structure points remain the same. Let's see what structure points we have. The 93.76, that is again our structure. In this case, we are trading below 93.76, so our structural points now are going to change roles. So instead of the structure short is 93.76, now it is going to be the structure long, because if it gets above it, you want to be buying. It is your structure long, and your structure short in this case is going to be the 91.76. And let's pick up the stops. I'm going to show you these points in a minute. If you are going to buy it above 93.76, your stop should be below 93.48. Your long stop should be 93.48. And if you short it below 92.88, your stop should be right above 93.14. So we're gonna make it 93.48, I'm sorry, and this is going to be 93. I'm putting the numbers precise so you know where I'm picking them from, but usually give yourself about 5 or 10 pips above it. As you see the noise over here, see this kind of noise? You don't want to get whipsawed in these noise. So if you're going to put your stop here, just make it 25 or something. Just allow yourself or your trade a little bit of a breathing room. Okay, so that is the dollar yen. Our long point is 93.76. The short point is 92.82. Your structure long is 93.76. Your structure short is 91.76. And your long stop is 93.48, and your short stop is 93.14. Okay.